Sixth episode begins in 1983. Austin, Texas, a young Tommy freaks out that his father is going to beat him for being involved in some ridiculousness regarding buying pot. Joel reassures his little brother that he'll take the punishment and sends him to his room. When their father comes home, we see he's a cop. The senior Miller is very angry, but he gets 2 beers from the fridge and puts one in front of his older son. He talks about how, when he stole a candy bar as a kid, his father hit him so hard it broke his jaw. "I have hit you, and I have hit Tommy, but never like that. Not even close," he says, tears gathering in his eyes as he monologues about trying to do a little better than his father did. "When it's your turn," he says before he heads back to work, "I hope you do a little better than me." Next thing we know, we're at the bar in Jackson. Seth is working there, and Joel brings a plastic freezer bag full of Legos to trade, which Seth's grandkids will love. We learn that Seth was a cop in the before times, and though it's not immediately clear what Joel is looking for in return, Seth asks him a crucial question. Vanilla or chocolate? Vanilla, it's easier. A resigned Joel says vanilla. At home, Joel is working on a guitar for Ellie. He puts a ton of attention into the work, even engraving a moth into the neck. Just as he's finishing, he hears Tommy yelling for him as he walks a loopy Ellie up to her bedroom. "Painkillers. She's all right," Tommy says Joel, who has immediately clicked into panic mode. Ellie was on kitchen duty by herself when she decided to push her forearm, aka the site of her bite scar from the infected, up against a scalding pot. She futzes with the bandage, which makes the wound hurt more, and her weak cries of pain bring Joel instantly to her side. "Easy, baby girl, easy," he comforts her. Ellie grows sad as she explains that she just wanted to wear short sleeves again, and she's sorry for the trouble she's caused. He hushes her, and she leans up against him as he pulls her close and kisses her head. The next morning, she comes downstairs to find Joel grumbling over a cake that reads, "Happy 15th birthday, Eli." "Let's hope Seth bakes better than he spells," he says as he turns to get knife. And by the time he's turned back, Ellie has already shoved a fistful of cake into her mouth. "He does," she mumbles. "It's really good." Joel then makes her close her eyes while he brings out the guitar. He talks about giving her a lesson later, but she demands a song now. And because it's her birthday, he gets over his initial hesitation and sits down to play Future Days by Pearl Jam. Ellie listens, looking so happy. "Happy birthday, kiddo," he says, and Ellie comes as close to beaming as she is able. A year later, as Joel and Ellie hike through the forest, she lobbies him to finally let her go out on patrol. They arrive in a clearing that unexpectedly has a dinosaur statue, which excites Ellie to no end. She clambers up to the top of the T-Rex's head and sees that there's a museum nearby. They go inside. We learn that Joel found the place a while back, but was saving it for a special day. Her eyes go wide when she sees a model of the solar system. She's shocked that the model actually moves when you crank it. When Ellie wonders aloud what it was like to be up among the stars, Joel asks her, "Would you like to go to space?" Then he ushers her to the Apollo 15 capsule that is part of the museum's collection, a real spacecraft from a 1971 mission to the moon. He encourages her to break a case and pick out a helmet, so she does. Then she climbs into the capsule and Joel follows her in. But he's not done yet. He hands her a cassette that took a mighty effort to find. She pops it into her portable player and we hear a recording of a blast-off into space. Ellie closes her eyes and imagines she's there. "Are you okay? Are you kidding me?" she shoots back, all smiled. As they walk home at dusk, Joel remarks, "This is nice. We should do this more." But just then, she stops, and her entire demeanor changes. He notes the abrupt change and wonders if she's okay. But she says yes and starts walking again, and things seem back to normal. When the camera pans over to show us what caught Ellie's attention, we see a cloud of fireflies sparkling in the approaching darkness. A year after that, Seth has worked on his copy editing skills, and the cake that Joel brings home reads, "Happy 17th birthday, Ellie." When he hears giggles from Ellie's room, he busts in and finds her canoodling with Kat, the woman we met on patrol in the first episode. Kat also was tattooing over Ellie's burn. Joel is really angry. He yells once Kat is gone, Drugs and tattoos and sex and experimenting with girls? Ellie yells back that it was neither sex nor an experiment, but he dismisses her. That night, she tries to move out to the garage. Joel stops her and they argue some more, but he acknowledges that maybe she should have her own space. He volunteers to fix up the garage for her. Things are awkward between them, but he's trying. Her tattoo is a moth, and he asks why she likes them so much. She mumbles something about it being symbolic. The next day, Joel accosts Gail at the diner for help. She flatly tells him that, in dreams, moths signify death. And as Ellie packs up her room, we see "You have a greater purpose" written among the moths she's doodled. 2 years later, Ellie sits on her bed and practices asking Joel all the questions that have been swirling in her mind for years. How did the same fireflies who spotted us a mile away from the hospital get surprised by an entire group of raiders? And if the raiders could kill all those soldiers and Marlene, and you had to carry me the whole time, how did we get away? And if there are dozens of immune people, why hasn't anyone heard of them? She's interrupted by Joel, who's there with her birthday present. He's given the patrol permission to add Ellie to their ranks. She and he patrol together, where he suggests that they spend more time together. Then a call comes in over the radio, and he tries to send Ellie home. She counters that she's not his kid, she's his patrol partner, and she wants to stay. So she does. They find Eugene, Gail's husband, who took down an infected but got bit in the process. Looks like we're about to find out what Gail was talking about in the season premiere. Eugene reasons that they have an hour, so he'd like to go back to the gate surrounding Jackson so he can say goodbye to his wife. Joel gently but firmly says no. Ellie is more sympathetic, reasoning that he's not yet symptomatic, which indicates that they can fulfill his last wish. Joel instructs her to bring the horses down the trail, and he'll walk with Eugene on the way back. At one point, she looks back at her surrogate dad questioningly. "I promise," he says. He breaks that promise. When Joel has Eugene in front of a beautiful vista, the bitten man begs Joel not to shoot him because he needs Gail's comfort as he dies. Joel offers to pass along any last words, and then, though we don't watch, Joel kills him. "Ellie, I had no choice," Joel pleads as they bring Eugene's wrapped body back to town. She's crying, but he can't see her face. She says nothing. When they return to Jackson, Tommy brings Gail to where Eugene is laid out on the ground. Joel tells Gail that her husband was brave, said he loved her, and ended it all himself. "That's not what happened," Ellie says, seething as Gail sobs onto Joel's shoulder. "He begged to see you. He had time. Joel promised to take him to you. He promised us both. Joel shot him in the head." Gail slaps Joel and tells him to get away from her. Joel, who looks stricken by what I'm sure he sees as a betrayal, stares at Ellie. "You swore," she says, then takes off. 9 months later, we're back at the New Year's Eve dance. Only we're watching it from Joel's perspective. Remember how Ellie told Gail she didn't talk to Joel later that night? That was a lie. He's sitting on the porch with her guitar when she comes home. She walks past him without saying anything, which clearly hurts him. But then she comes back and stands next to him on the porch. They both look out into the yard as she says she doesn't want him interfering with her personal or patrol life anymore. He agrees. He asks about Dina, and Ellie quickly says their kiss didn't mean anything. "She would be lucky to have you," he says quietly. "You lied to me. I think I knew already. I knew this whole time," she continues. "So I'm going to give you one last chance. Tell me what happened with the fireflies. If you lie to me again, we're done." He confirms that there were no raiders or other immune people. "Could they have made a cure?" He nods, his face so close to crumbling. Ellie is crying too, but she wipes her tears away. He nods in confirmation that he killed the doctor and Marlene, but he finds his voice to say, "Making a cure would have killed you." Ellie sees it differently. "Then I was supposed to die," she yells. "But if somehow I had a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again," he says. "Because you're selfish," she tosses back. "Because I love you," he says, in a way you can't understand. Maybe you never will. But if that day should come, if you should ever have one of your own, well then, I hope you do a little better than me. His voice is all high and trembly. He's full on crying. I don't think I can forgive you for this, she says, and he closes his eyes as he waits for the emotional kill shot. It doesn't come. But I would like to try, she finishes, and he quickly looks at her. This is not what he was expecting. And that's all we get of the Joel and Ellie show. In the hour's final scene, we see Ellie return to the theater in Seattle in the rain after having pulverized Nora.